So, hi friends, in today's class I will discuss an important legislation passed by both the houses of parliament, that is Dam Safety Act. Dam Safety Act. So, recently it passed by both the houses of parliament. Because this bill has a long pending history in India, because in the year 1979, what happened is there was a dam called Machu. Dam got collapsed in Gujarat. It's a worst disaster, Gujarat. Thousands of lives we lost at that point of time. Following that incident, the dam owners, why I am saying dam owners means, dam owners are different in different cases. Sometimes state government construct a dam with their own resources, then the state government is the owner. Sometimes the dam is present in a particular state, but it is operated by a different state, because prior to that these two states were in a particular at that particular point of time, suppose just assume these are the two states now, but earlier they are only one state, and for the purpose of this low lying area, if it is a high lying area, with the entire resources they have constructed a dam. Now the state is divided. Now this went to these people and the low lying area under this. Now the responsibility and the ownership of this dam lies between two people. So the owner is two people. So there the owner is different. And there are some multi-purpose projects constructed by the public sector undertakings or public sector corporations like Damodar Valley Corporation. So like in that case the public sector enterprises are the owners in case of multi-purpose projects. But anyhow, in the 1917, that means post this incident in Gujarat, dam owners set up their own respective dam safety organizations. They have set up their own respective dam safety organizations they have set up, and they have started devising their own protocols, and they have started securing their own dams. Because dams are very, very important, because there are some multi-purpose dams are there, and there are some dams which is having a purpose of only electricity generation, and there are some dams which are having a purpose of irrigation. But whatever it may be, dams are very, very important for the agricultural production in our country. But if something happened to this dam, then it creates lot of devastation. So many people lost life. So that is the reason why the safety of dams are very, very important. And if I want to say, from since 1979, from this incident till now, there are 42 instances of dam failures are there. 42 instances of dam failures that were happened. And the present union government is saying like the failure of a dam in the 21st century is something like a national shame. It's a shame on the nation, we are unable to protect our own dams. And when it comes to these dams, after China and US, India is the third largest dam owning country in the world after China and US. There are many dams are there in India. Around 5,745 large dams are there. Dam in the sense this concrete structure, and the water storing part we call it as reservoir. So this is reservoir, this is dam. Here you will have some spillway. Okay. So 5,745 large dams are there. 80% of these large dams are already 25-year-old. That means already 25 years got completed. And 227 dams are over 100-year-old. 227 dams are over 100-year-old. So the point is, because of their age is so high, the unwarranted dam failure and the poor maintenance are some sort of problems, are some of the reasons for creating this dam failure problem. So this unwarranted dam failure means, if you don't maintain properly, then suddenly there may be a huge flow of flood, then that may cause the entire failure of the dam. Recently, the dam in the state of Andhra Pradesh called Annamaya Dam has flooded away completely because of these huge floods happened. So in the state of Andhra Pradesh it happened. Next. So this act, now what this act is going to do? This act is going to provide for an adequate surveillance, inspection, monitoring, adequate surveillance, inspection, monitoring, maintenance, operation of all larger dams, in this country. Not every dam, only larger dams. Then what is the criteria to decide whether it is a larger dam or not a larger dam? They said if the height of the dam is above 15 meters, then it is completely comes under the purview of this act, and if it is between 10 to 15 meters with some sort of conditionalities, it will be regulated by this particular act. This will be regulated by act. Now the point is, okay, this act provides for the adequate surveillance, inspection, operation, maintenance and monitoring of all the larger dams in the country. Both at the national level and at the state level, there is a new institutional structure. Is developed. So new institutional structure, that means a new structure is created both at the national level and state level to do this. Now what are the institutes that were constituted? What are the institutions that were constituted under this particular act? Now I will give 4, 2 at the national level, 2 at the each state level. National Committee on Dam Safety, 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 first one. Second one is National Dam Safety Authority, National Dam Safety Authority. Third one is the State Committee on Dam Safety, State Dam Safety Authority. So a committee on dam safety authority, committee on dam safety authority, national level, state level. So these are the 4 different organizations or the 4 institutions that were set up under this particular act. Now what is this National Committee on Dam Safety will do? It evolves uniform dam safety policies, protocols, procedures. Policies, protocols, procedures. So this will devise. Likewise, the state level CDS will also devise suitable policies, protocols and procedures for the effective maintaining of the safety of the dams, effective maintenance of the safety of the dam. So what is this Dam Safety Authority will do? It is a regulatory body for ensuring a nationwide implementation of the dam safety policies and standards. That means this is a body which devises the policies and supervise. This is the body which will implement the policies and make sure that these policies must be implemented. It is an executive body, it is a supervisory body. Executive body, supervisory body. And here this supervision about these two bodies is again lies with the national level bodies. National level bodies. And earlier actually we have the same level of technique, and suppose if I want to give the composition just I will give the National Committee on Dam Safety. In that the CWC chairman, Central Water Commission chairman, and apart from that 10 members from the central government and 7 members from the states government represent this whole body. Earlier also the CWC used to monitor and CW used to give some sort of guidelines to the state government, but earlier it was not compulsory and it has not made compulsion, and there is no specific regulation to follow the guidelines given by the center to the state. So it is not necessary, so state no need to follow, but okay, as a matter of expert CWC used to supervise. So a lack of clear cut regulation or a clear cut legislation, so there is no proper coordination between the center and the state, and now we have created a national level body and a state level body. Now the state level bodies works under this central level bodies, and that central level body is having a head of Central Water Commission head, and if you have this proper legislation, then definitely center can pass the regulation to the state, and state has to implement the protocols prepared by the national level body. Actually they want to bring this legislation because Rajiv Gandhi has tried in the year 1987, and from 1987 onwards we are trying, but unfortunately we have failed. But this government, they are having some majority and they want to, because dam safety is very, very important. Dam safety is very, very important. Now what are the challenges that these institutes are going to address? So they will go for regular inspections, important regular inspections, because nowadays what happening is some of the state governments they are not allowing the outsiders to visit that particular dam, even the central government, because they are the dam owners. And some of the dams are in a poor maintenance state. Some of the states don't want to, suppose take the case of Mullaperiyar Dam. One state is arguing that no, it is in a bad condition. No, some state is saying like no, it is good condition, and half of the dam is maintained by some other state and half of the dam is maintained by another state in case of some of the dams, and some of the dam is maintained by some state, some of the dam is maintained by other state. So the problem is when these type of issues comes, who has to take care about the maintenance? Who has to see if the dam is in one state and if it is maintained by somebody, and if something happened to this dam, and if these people are going to affect, and if this dam is maintained by this particular state, then the problem is who has to maintain this dam? These people are maintaining. If something goes wrong, is there any problem to these people? No. The point is the dam has to be maintained properly. All the stakeholders are involved. Unfortunately, then now the owners are not allowing other side. Take the case of another case, a dam is in between two states. These people are maintaining properly, these people are not maintaining properly. If something happened to dam this side, then again it will get collapsed. So the point here is these dams are under the control of the owners, and these owners not maintaining properly. At the same time, they are not allowing some sort of central government institutes to verify that also. But now it's not possible. Now the regular inspections will happen, both state level and also the union level body will also do that. Classification of dams. Classification of dams. Classification of dams. So classification of dams based on their level of hazards. So based on that, the maintenance will be taken care. Next, emergency action plan. Emergency action plan. So there must be an emergency action plan. If something goes wrong, then what we need to do? Emergency action plan. And even the climate change aspect also they are going to study. So what is going to happen with respect, because of the climate change, the sudden heavy downpour or heavy torrential rains are coming. So how it is going to affect the safety of the dams, that aspects also they are going to study. Now under this particular act, they have made it compulsory that the dam owners are required to provide resources. The dam owners are required to provide resources. The dam owners are required to provide resources for timely repair and maintenance of the dam structure along with related machinery. Now you can't say like it is my dam, so I can do whenever I want. No, now it has made compulsion on the state that as a dam owner you have to compulsory allocate the resources, you have to maintain it, because if you take the case of some of the dam failures, the reason is that poor maintenance, and suddenly when the flood comes and there is a overflow of water, then you try to lift the gates, but because of poor maintenance of the gates, they don't open in an appropriate time, and your dam don't discharge the enough amount of water, then completely it has flooded the entire structure. So these are some of the problems. So that is the reason why the dam owners are required to provide resources for timely repair and maintenance of the dam structure along with the required machinery. So once you looking into this entire bill, this bill is creating an institutional structure both at the national level and the state level. Though this structure one or other way it was already existed, but unfortunately because of lack of supervision, because of lack of specific roles and responsibilities, we are unable to implement it properly, and because of that still some dam failures are occurring. So in order to avoid this, we are creating a proper structure, and we are also protecting, it's not only the structure, but we are considering both structure and operational maintenance part also taken care by this particular legislation. So it is to secure the structure and as well as make sure that the regular operation and maintenance must be happened. And it's not only that, the penal provisions were also made under this. If any particular authority, that means if any dam owner is not following the guidelines or the rules and regulations or the standards set up by the national level authority, then they will be liable for punishment, both penalty and even imprisonment is also there, So the implementation of mandatory dam safety actions by the dam owners within a definite timeline. You can't go on postpone it. Now they will come up with a manual. They are come up with a mandatory safety protocols. So that safety actions must be implemented by dam owners. Either it is a state government or it is any public sector undertaking, or if any more than one state, whenever they are holding a particular dam in jointly. Next, So the safety of the dam is also important for safeguarding the huge public interest. So the investment in this particular sector, in this critical infrastructure, is very important. Very important, because we have been discussing this issue since 1987, but now we need to take it in a serious manner. That is the reason why we do not consider this investment on this dam as something unproductive, but it is very essential, because this is one of the critical infrastructure in this country, Now this particular organization, this central dam safety, this national level dam safety authority, or the national level or the state level dam safety authority, like earlier they used to advise the state government, but state governments are unable to implement it properly. But here now, actually earlier what they used to do is this pre-monsoon and post-monsoon, so they need to report it to the Central Water Commission. So the state respective organization, they used to report it to the Central Water Commission. Even Central Water Commission used to advise the state government both in pre-monsoon and post-monsoon. And even if any hazardous things happen like earthquake or any flood flow or any torrential rain, CWC generally used to caution the state. But now we are making this process in a systematized manner, and we have assigned some roles and responsibilities. Now under these roles and responsibilities, this both before and after the monsoon, and during and after earthquake, and during and after the floods and calamity or any sign of distress, then the nation or the national level authority will pass orders, and along with the national level order, the state level authorities has to prepare. And likewise these four institutes are the four level structure that we have created under this particular legislation, But there is some problem with this legislation. Now you understood, like, okay, dam, when this issue was started, why you need to have a safe dam, and because of this no particular responsibility and no particular a clear structure, some states have implemented in a proper manner, some states are not implemented in a proper manner. And so when you don't have a proper uniform structure across the country, it is very difficult to maintain some sort of uniformity. And in order to bring that sort of uniformity, we have brought this. But when you looking into the constitution, water is a state subject. Water is a state subject of the 7th schedule of Constitution of India. So under the 7th schedule of the Constitution, the water is a state subject, that means under 17, entry 17. So the issues related to the water must be taken care by the state alone. Now when the water and the water development aspects, that means the construction of dam is also related to the water development. When it is under the state government, how can a central government can make a law on this item, and now they are taking the power over the larger dams. Now lot of states are apprehending that with this particular legislation, now union government on the name of safety, now they are trying to manage the entire dam. They may not release the water, but union government is very clear when it comes to the release of water or allocation of the water. It is not the purview of this particular committees constituted under this particular act. That means the National Committee on Dam Safety or National Dam Safety Authority, it is not the duty of them. Already the tribunals have given the awards, and based on the tribunal award only water will be allocated. We are only taking care about the some of the states, but some of the state governments are saying like, No. Union want to control over these dams. Now union will take over the maintenance of these dams. So this is not at all good for a state. It is against the federalism. They are making a law under a subject called water, which is present in the state list. It is against the spirit of federalism, against the spirit of this constitution. That is what they are saying. But on the other hand, the union government is saying this, we are bringing it under the entry 56 of union list. Entry 56 of union list. That means the regulation of interstate rivers and river valleys. Regulation of interstate river, water and valleys. Suppose that means if a river is flowing through two different states, then the sharing of water will be affected by the two different states. Then definitely it will have its own impact. So we are saying then in that particular aspect, the development of that river valley comes under the union list. So under that we are doing, because most of the dams are interstate, the larger dams present in interstate only, so we can implement it. That's what they are saying. But they are also saying that there is an entry 97 called residuary powers. So this residuary powers are with the Parliament of India. That means if any particular subject is not clearly mentioned in either of the three lists, that means union, state and concurrent list, then on that item the union government or the Parliament of India can make. So we consider it as a residuary and we can do it. That's what they are saying. But one thing we need to understand here is all the dams are not on interstate river water valleys. Some of the dams may be old, but they are completely inside a particular state. Then how can you substantiate with 56? Because dam is not a new thing in our country. We have been constructing a dam. If it is a multi-purpose dam and if it is in between two states came together and they have constructing, and if the union government thinks that it is very important, union government itself is funding. So they are all doing, and what are all the issues related to that we have dealt under list 17 and list 56 of both state and union list. But suddenly you brought a new concept of residuary. Suddenly you are saying like, no, I can deal it under the entry 56 of interstate river valleys. But some of the old dams which may not present in interstate river valley, how can you substantiate? You may say residuary. Construction and maintenance of a dam, is it really a residuary function? It was already mentioned under the existing list of items. So this is one of the problem that some of the states are saying like, no, you are not following a proper constitutional method. You wanted to infringe into the rights of the states. And one of the very important aspect of this act is very important, this water. See, the state committee on dam, the national level committee on dam safety and the national dam safety authority, the state committee on dam safety and the state level dam safety authority, they have their own respective functions. Now the functions of these four bodies, can be amended through a notification by union government. Through a notification by union government. So this is posing a grave concern. This is something wrong. Because you are saying, see, you created a body over and above the provisions of the constitution, and what you are saying, the provisions which affects the federal feature of the Indian polity, now you want to amend it through a notification. That means now the center can literally control on the name of this safety all the dams in different parts of the country, and even they can change the list also, they can take the control of other dams. That is what the apprehension that they are showing. That is what the apprehension that they are showing. So, these are some of the problems that are there with respect to this legislation, mostly the aspect of the federalism. Now, apart from the dam owner, now another body called an union government has intervening into the operation and maintenance of the existing dams on the name of safety. This is completely wrong. This is completely wrong. That is what most of the states are arguing. The safety of the dams are important. No one is against that safety of the dam, but the problem is it is infringing into the federalism of the constitution. Now, before I conclude, just I want to mention some points. If at all you get a question on this, one aspect you will get is the level of dam safety in India and how existing or how the recently brought act or legislation is going to solve the problem of dam safety in our country. So, you may get a question on dam safety and the level of dam safety in India and how recently brought legislation is going to address this problem. Second one is, you may get this dam safety is a duty of union or state. Dam safety is the duty of union or state critically examine in the recently brought Dam Safety Act. Third one, the recently brought Dam Safety Act has addressed the institutional, structural maintenance challenges, but not environmental challenges. Environmental challenges critically examined. You may get this question. Next one, you may get a question on this federalism. So, how this newly brought Dam Safety Act has affecting the federal structure of the Indian polity. Okay. So, on this federalism aspect you may get a question, on this environmental aspect you may get a question, and dam safety, is it a duty of union or state, explain in the context of the recently brought you may get, and explain what is the level of dam safety in India and how the recently brought legislation is going to solve this problem. So, that means you may get a questions in either of these way, So, with this I completing. Okay, thank you.
Amrita IAS Academy.